Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. As you can guess by the title, today's video is part 2 of Foundation Fridays, and we are going to be reviewing the new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Foundation. Super excited to try this one. I'm actually wearing the full face now, so this is the finished look, and I realized I forgot to film an intro, so I'm just filming a little bit of a pickup on this foundation. So I'll put a pop-up here on how much it retails for, and I will put a link in the drop down where you can purchase this foundation if you want to try it. If you have already tried it, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the foundation. It is great to know what other people think. How does it sit on your skin texture? This foundation claims to be waterproof, super long wear, 24 hours, transfer proof, fade proof, sweat proof, and humidity proof. So transfer proof, I'm guessing, doesn't transfer to masks. So that is a big claim because currently all my masks get caked in foundation. So that'll be interesting to see. It also has no scent to it. So I think a lot of the reviews on her previous formalized foundation was that the odor, people found it really overpowering. Personally, if you watched my review on the foundation, I didn't find it overbearing, but I could see why people would. Also tag that video to the original foundation in the drop down below so you can give that a watch if you haven't already. But I didn't find it that bad. However, that was the biggest feedback. So obviously this new formula is no odor. She basically claims that it is life proof. And with that life proof, obviously comes the waterproof, superproof, whatever. That's a big statement. I'm really excited to do the wear test with this foundation just to see what it looks like in a few hours and like throughout the day, and give you all my review. So keep watching to see the application of this and also what I think at the end of the video. I used the e.l.f. Putty Primer to prime my face, one of my favourites. It sits on my skin so nicely and the products just sink in so well. So after applying my primer, I'm just taking the foundation, and as you can see, it's got a new pump on it. I'm sure the old one was all black, so that's really cute. I'm just taking a few pumps. God, it was a struggle. Look at my face. Oh my God. Sorry. Apologise. Yes, just taking a few pumps of this, and like I said, I'm going to be applying one side with a beauty blender, so that's the side I'm going in with first, and then I will apply the second half of my face with the brush later on. Done half of my face with the beauty blender and you can literally see the coverage difference. So yes, I've gone for a really dark eye today. I have no idea why I've gone for a really dark eye, because I like it's a big mistake because I've got really dark under eyes today anyway, so I don't know why I've gone for a dark eyeshadow. However, you can see the difference already in the coverage it has. I do however feel that this is I'm using the shade Macchiato, which is kind of what I use in the other one. So I mix between baklava and macchiato, and I did talk about how I tried the baklava on my other review video, but macchiato is more my shade. I do feel like this macchiato comes out a little bit darker, but I don't know if that's just me. There's no real scent to it, so obviously they've removed the odor. The odor didn't bother me too much. Like it didn't put me off buying it, which is what I said on my review. This one actually goes on amazing. Like it feels really good on my skin. It feels like it blends in really well. I'm just going to take a little bit more here, and you probably don't need to, but I do want to try and get like the full coverage. Okay, so this is half face done, and like the coverage is undoubtable. Like you can't even question the coverage. The coverage is amazing. And if you're gonna go for a full coverage foundation, like this one is definitely on my list. It actually feels a lot lighter than her old formula. It does, like, it's definitely full coverage, but it doesn't feel as heavyweight. Like I think when I use the other one, you can kind of feel that you've got foundation on, whereas it's really light. I do really like that actually. That is definitely a positive. Okay, so I'm going to go in and use hairbrush. I know I talk about how I don't like the brush a lot. I'm going to go in, I'm going to try it. If I don't like it, I'm going to just switch to a different synthetic brush. And put it on using hairbrush. I just feel really heavy-handed when I'm using this one. I don't know, does anyone else feel like that when they use her buff and whatever, what's it called? Build and buff brush. It does go on, I actually prefer how this formula goes on with this brush. Again, I still feel like the brush is way too dense for me. Like, I'm not a fan, like I have said many of times, but it doesn't feel as cakey when I use this new formula with this brush. I actually really like how this has gone on. The texture's amazing. Like, it feels really light, it's really nice texture. You can see the coverage is really good. It's got like it's really weird because it's full coverage, matte-ish, but it's got like a really nice sheen to it, which I don't hate. I quite like that. I really like the texture on. It's so lightweight. It has got it feels a tiny bit sticky. The other formula doesn't feel like that, but then again, the other formula, some people find that it does cake a little bit. It's got a light stick to it, but obviously we're going to powder my face anyway, so that might go away. I'm going to do the rest of my face and then I'm going to come back for a review before we do the kind of like 6-hour wear trial as well. Okay, so I have now completed my full face of makeup. One thing I have to say is you can definitely feel a change in the formula because this is so full coverage, but it feels so lightweight. Like, I don't know why, but the other one, now I think back to it, maybe it did feel a little bit cakey at times, whereas this one doesn't. It feels really smooth. There is still a little bit of stickiness, so I've powdered my face, I've put on products after, but kind of like here, you can feel a little bit sticky, but I'm not too iffy about it. My other products blended so well on top. So I used a putty blush from e.l.f. That went on really nice. I was a bit unsure about how that was going to go on. I literally just used a stippling brush to apply it. I thought it might drag it a bit. It did not do that. It was really, really nice. So I really enjoyed that. My powder went really well on top. Anything else, it just sat really well on it. Like, I don't know why sometimes with full coverage you think, oh, you're going to need really full coverage products on top to kind of handle the feel and the texture of the full coverage of the base, but you didn't need that, and it was really, really nice. I definitely like that about it. I think another positive is the odor's not there, so I think if you were bothered by the odor before, then this is going to be way better for you. The sheer kind of like look you get from it is really nice. So I have added highlighter just on here to kind of bring it up, but I'm just going to show you I just want to show you the coverage that you get. Like, there's no separation around my nose. I know a few people talked about that. There's no separation at the moment under here, and it does really cover up. So now I've zoomed in, you can kind of see the texture a lot more here, but I think it does a really good job of covering up the textures. When I first put it on as well, I was a bit like, oh, the colour feels a little bit darker than the other Macchiato. Now I've got a full face on, I don't think it does, but I don't actually know if when they've changed the formula, has there been some changes in the actual shading? I don't think there has. And like I said before, they do have a really good shade range, so I think it would definitely be worthwhile just like picking like your right undertone and picking out like the different like trying the different colors, because some of them are quite close together, so definitely recommend that. We are going to give this the wear test because obviously it did talk about being smudge proof and waterproof, so I will do this wear test and I'll be back at night and I'll kind of just give you an update to what it looks like, if it's separated, if it's caked, if it has lasted through a mask if I'm going out, and I'll see you later. Hey guys, so I am back today after I think it was about maybe like 5 hours, and my final thoughts on this foundation are, I think the my complexion still looks really good. I still think the coverage is really full. I do think I've gone extra shiny in my T-zone, which is what I normally do, and you can kind of see where I've worn my glasses there, and you can also see underneath my eyes I have started to kind of get creases, and you can kind of see where that's separated from my concealer. I do think I'm going to try it with a high-end concealer rather than a high street one, just to see if there's any difference. But normally when I use this high street one, I use the e.l.f. one, I don't really have any other issues. The only other thing that I would say is you can kind of see where it's detached. I did wear a mask because I did pop out for a bit. I should have kept the mask. There wasn't that much makeup on it in terms of on the actual mask, which was a bonus. However, you can kind of see on my face where the coverage is less full. So already looking at my skin, you can see like this is less full, and it seems to have come off my nose like here, there. But you can see here where the detachment has happened. I do, when I'm looking at it now, I do think that when I'm looking at the coverage, I'm like, okay, I really like it. I don't know if I like it more than the old one, just purely because it feels less cakey. So I feel like in that sense, I do prefer the new formula. I said there wasn't an odour, but when I went downstairs after putting it on and doing my full face, I did get like a scent, but it wasn't a fragranted scent. It was more like a product scent. Is that product scent? Is that like, I don't know. But it's not overpowering. It's not like gross. It's not a fragrance like scent, so it wouldn't put you off. But I definitely just think there is a little bit of detachment where I wore my mask, and that's the one thing that I wanted to try on it. And definitely my oily zone, so I would have to powder when I'm wearing it if I'm wearing it out. But apart from that, I really like it. It is definitely a thumbs up from me. I just think this foundation is so beautiful on Asian skin. Yes, it's heavy, so if you like heavy makeup, that's great. But I just think the shade range that she offers for Asian skin, there is a whole spectrum for other skin tones as well, but just the different kind of pigments that she puts in to suit different Asian skin, like yellow undertone, gold undertone, peach undertone, orange. There is so much there, and like you will be able to find your shade really easily. So I definitely recommend trying this. If you did like this foundation as well, do not forget to like the video, and also do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos next week.